All right, so I cleared all the code out of here, and we're gonna work together to create a guess my number game. Okay, so you could just continue on where we left off in the same bit for the check we did for the username and passwords. What we're gonna do is we're gonna combine all our knowledge of loops, all that stuff, to create a guess my number game. All right. So to plan the program, what we'll do is we'll start off just writing some simple like pseudocode. We'll just come up with a quick outline, and then we'll actually convert it back into code. So guess my number game. Okay. And playing this program out, we're gonna have let's see, I'll do 3 strings there. Okay. And let's see, we pick a random number. All right, so the first thing we have to do is pick a random number. After that, while the player hasn't guessed the number, okay, let the player guess. Then we'll say good job at the end. All right, so there's our simple little program, right? Nothing too crazy here. We can further refine this by going through and maybe drafting out some further steps here. And as we go through and fill these steps, if um, when you're drafting out a program for the first time, you start with the big things that you're gonna have to do, right? So we know we're gonna have to pick a random number. We know this might be a function, right? And we might have a little bit at the top there, but we know we can just use import random for this. While the player hasn't guessed the number, let the player guess, congratulate the player. There's a lot of things that happen in between there, right? So we can plan out a few more steps to know what we're gonna have to do. Okay. And pick a random number. Maybe we can say 1 to 100. Ask the player for a guess. Set the number of guesses to 1. Let's see. Well, the player hasn't guessed the number. So what we can do is we can actually clarify that bit of code there. While the player guess does not equal the number, then we have our main loop here. While the guess does not equal the number, if player guess is greater than number, tell player to guess lower. Otherwise, tell player to guess higher. Okay. And then we say let the player continue guessing. We're doing that within the loop itself, so we can just rephrase this as get a new guess from the player and increase number of guesses by 1. So what we'll do is we'll have them count up the number of times it took them to guess the number to give them a benchmark and a little bit of feedback so that they know how well they did in that particular round. And so we'll congratulate the player on guessing correctly and tell the player how many times it took to guess. Okay. So, all right. So we have the basic outline of this entire thing. All right. So what is this? So what do we do here? This is all pseudocode. Okay, pseudocode. And what pseudocode is, it's basically fake code. All right. And pseudo meaning, false, right? Pseudocode. And what it's helpful to do is to actually plan out the program in a little bit of detail, as much detail as you can, not using any particular language, right? This is just what we would call, we call it an algorithm, right? It's just the overall steps of the program. And it saves you from having to think about, oh, did I add a semicolon? Did I tab it out correctly? Did I add parameters to the function? All right. So you don't have to worry about that. You just sort of draft out this in kind of like codish style language, and then you work on translating this into a language. It doesn't need to be Python. It could be other languages like JavaScript, but you basically just draft out what you're going to do, and then you go and you actually try to translate it actually into code itself. All right. So let's do guess my number. All right. So let's start off by doing import random. Right. That gets us our random number generation. And let's welcome the user. Print welcome to the random number guesser. Alrighty. And for this program, we can make it have its own personality. You can set up any scenario you want. Welcome to the random number guesser. Print. Guess the right number between 1 and 100. Okay, so we'll get a little instructions for it. Now let's set up the variables. Okay. Let's do correct num random dot rand int random integer 1 to 100. Let's also set up user num equals input, and we'll say take actually make a guess. All right, and then we can do let's see, tries equal 1. Okay, so actually we'll do attempts. Okay, attempts. Okay, so for user number though, notice that we have user number equals input, make a guess, and in this case, we learned before that these come in as strings. We're comparing it to numbers, so that means that we have to convert this person's user guess into an integer, and we can do that by wrapping the entire statement in parentheses and putting int in front of it. And what that will do is it will take the process will go. The user types in their input, makes a guess, and then afterwards, we will take that number and convert it from a string to an integer. All right, so we can use it later on. If we try to do comparisons and without it being converted, the and statements will actually fail later on and they'll return false, and we'll have to go back and fix it anyways. Okay, so we set up all our variables we're going to need. All right, now we can set up our main loop of the guessing. While guess does not equal, I did user, say user num does not equal correct num. Okay, so while these two things are not the same, do something. And what are we going to have it do? Well, we'll go back up to our program, right? While the player guess does not equal the number, if the player guess, or step an if else statement, is greater than, so we're going to get some hints. So let's see. We'll do it as, actually it will break out. So we'll say give hints. Okay. If user num is greater than correct num, print guess lower, else print guess higher. All right. So while user num is not correct num, so while these two things are not the same, if the username is higher, we'll tell them to guess lower. Otherwise, the number can't be the same because if it was, this loop wouldn't run. So it has to be lower. So we could just tell them to guess higher. Now, while this is not running, or while this continues to run, what I'm going to do is actually increase the number, and we're going to ask for another guess. So we can do attempts plus equals 1. So we'll increase that number of tries that they made by 1. And the second thing we're going to do is actually ask for another input. So we'll do user num equals int, same as above, input, make a guess. All right. So what we just done is we created the input. We've asked it over and over again. Okay. And now the last thing is actually to finish this up. So while this loop runs, okay, this will always run as long as usernum does not equal correctnum. All right, we can see that here. Make a guess between 1 and 100. Let's see, 1, guess higher, 2, 3. We can go for quite a while. To make for testing purposes, what I might suggest is actually we'll cheat a little bit. We'll do a print of say correct number, and then we'll do correct number. All right, so make a guess. 1. Okay, so we know the correct number is actually 27. Guess higher. 26. Guess higher. 27. All right. So the program ended with that. We saw that it ended this while loop, broke out, and the while loop ended it. And we see a yellow arrow here, basically indicating that this console is ready to be typed in, that we're no longer in this program. We're just in the console for this program. So here, make a guess. Everything works here. Let's try it higher. Make a guess. I'll guess, let's see, let's guess higher. Let's do a guess lower. Okay, so correct is 81. 82. Guess lower. Still works. Let's try 72. Let's go lower. Okay, guess higher. Everything here works fine. 81. Ends the program. Perfect. All right. So after that, we have to just, according to our outline here, we can congratulate the player on guessing correctly and tell the player how many times it took to guess. Okay. So I'm going to hit backspace here to make sure that I'm in the main program. And you can tell if I click the minus next to this while, we can see it all compact. And my cursor should be on the next line here. I do not want this part of the main while loop. Everything in the while loop has a gray bar in front of it. I'm not going to have that. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to do print and congratulations, guessing the right number. And then we'll do print. It took you we'll do a plus statement here. Attempts to guess correctly. All right. Let's see. Bad input line 41. What I forget? That's right. That's right. Oh, right here. Okay, so make a guess. I will still cheat for testing purposes. 94. Let's hit 94. Can concatenate string and integer. That's right. All right. So can we wrap this in just str? Let's see. Whoops. Typing over there now. All right. Let's say put a number here. 27. 2 attempts to guess correctly. All right, let's try one more time. Just cleaning up a little bit more. Okay. I gotta keep that space there. Okay. It took you 2 attempts to guess correctly. A little period there. We'll clean this up. A little exclamation point there. Here we go. All right. Correct number is 41. Actually, this is interesting. So it's not part of the program, but something that you could actually do if you wanted to practice a little bit is that we actually had a make a guess, and here I entered a 1, 2, 3. This is far surpasses 1 to 100. So actually, if you wanted to, is because you're not supposed to go below one, like zero or below negative numbers, and you're not supposed to go over 100. One thing you could do here is if you wanted to try this on your own is to actually go and add in additional if else statements here or elif statements here that do checks to see if the person enters a number above 100 or below 1, and to give them a custom message other than just guess lower. We could say something like, um, you know, uh, please make another guess only between 1 and 100, or you've guessed too high. It's only between 1 and 100. We can make all sorts of custom statements there, and it might be a good way to actually practice doing this is to actually expand on that and to account for that additional challenge, right? Of dealing with that. So here we number string attempts. Okay, all this works. Okay, and what do? We added the while loop, the not check. We did a check to see if the username is too high, too low. We've incremented the number of inputs, and we've converted inputs to integers, and to make their comparison against a randomly generated number at the top. So all of this is a fairly simple program, but we have as a fully functioning number guessing game that incorporates everything we've sort of learned so far. So as moving forward, we'll take a look at some new concepts, and to push your skills a little bit further, we'll build some more programs. So thank you for watching, and good job.